My 34-year-old daughter, Danielle, is extremely anorexic and bulimic. Danielle was a bright, sociable, outgoing young girl. She had everything. It breaks my heart to see her dying now. When she was 13, she would indicate to me that, "Mommy, I'm fat." And I would reassure her all the time that she was not fat. I took my daughter to the pediatrician only to have this doctor say to Danielle, "Oh yes, you could lose 5 pounds if you wanted." And Danielle said, "See, Mom, even the doctor thinks I'm fat." Those few words set in motion a process that has led my daughter to her deathbed. The first sign that I noticed was Danielle was restricting her food intake. Shortly after that, the binging and purging. It's horrific, and you hear it. I could only think the pain that she was suffering, the desire to get every calorie out of her body. I begged Danielle, just for tonight, don't binge and purge. Do it for me, Danielle. Danielle would say, "I can't, Mommy, I will get fat." Danielle is 5'4½". She stated 2 days ago that she was 68 pounds, but I believe Danielle could easily be 64 pounds. We're in the car right now. We're heading to the hospital. I really wanted Danielle to be here to meet Dr. Phil in person. She's not looking real good. Unfortunately, her medical condition is too dire for her to travel. 7 years ago, when Danielle's weight dropped to 58 pounds, it was horrific watching Danielle with a feeding tube. They were 100% sure she was not going to make it. It became a whirlwind of finding treatment facilities, finding the right therapist, and nothing working. She's almost at 58 pounds again. She's not going to make it. Her body, her organs are very damaged. We don't have time. We don't have time.
This has been going on for 20 years, right?
Over 20 years.
Yeah, over 20 years. So this is not something that you've had your head buried in the sand about. You've been aware of this, as you said, since she was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yes.
And then when she turned 16, she started getting involved in these pro-anorexia websites, because there are these websites on the internet where these people go who actually advocate for anorexia and start sharing their secrets of how to hide it, how to achieve weight
Dr. Phil,
loss.
it's horrific.
It is
It's absolutely
it's
horrific.
a sick society.
It's beyond sick. I urge anybody that's involved in it, stop. It will kill you. This is serious.
And now she calls herself a nutritional counselor, and she's on these websites counseling others in how to get where she is.
This is true.
Hi, Dr. Phil. My name is Danielle. I've been suffering from an eating disorder for over 2 decades. As you see, I lost most of my teeth from purging. I'm 34 years old and I'm dying. I don't know where to turn. My daily meals consist of coffee and an orange, coffee, about 100 grams of fruit, 1/4 cup of oatmeal, 1 tablespoon of cream of wheat mixed with 2 cups of water. All this before 5 a.m. I attempt dinner around 6, but it feels so uncomfortable. This is my breakfast. That little bit of cereal and 2 cups of water. So this whole meal is roughly 220 calories. I probably won't consume any solids for the next 12 to 15 hours. I weigh myself twice a day. In the morning when I wake up, once, and then again to make sure it's right. I just want to get some help. I don't want to die. Can you help me?
The question that you posed for me was, what would be the next step in recovery? What would be the next thing for you to do in recovery? Is that a legitimate question?
Yeah, it is. I really don't want to live like this anymore. I really can't. It's been too long, and I just I really want to get better. I don't want to hurt my family anymore. I don't want this anxiety anymore. I, I really want to start living, not just existing.
Why now?
It's just getting tiring.
You've been doing this for years. You are a professional anorexic. You have actually become an anorexic teacher. You're teaching young girls on the internet how to destroy their lives.
Well, with that, I'd like to say that website was, these women were looking to lose weight. They were thinking anorexia was a diet. And I can honestly say they were seriously overweight, and I don't believe these women were anorexic.
Well,
They were looking for a quick way to lose weight, and that's not what anorexia is. It's a deadly disorder.
well, Danielle, listen, there's really no point in us talking if you're not going to be honest with me. That's a pro-anorexia website, and you're giving these women 300 calorie a day diets. And
Yeah.
you're not qualified to do that. That's a pro-anorexia website. And if you're going to try to come on here and tell me that you're just trying to help obese women get down to an ideal body weight or a healthy body weight, then you're not being honest with me, and there's just nothing for us to talk about.
No, I did make those meal plans.
Told
But
me
I was just,
that wasn't a pro-anorexia website, and that's a lie.
I feel it wasn't. I feel it wasn't. I feel it was women looking to lose weight quickly.
Renee?
I'm literally in shock. I had no idea that she was making meal plans of 300 calories a day for anybody, 200 pounds, 100 pounds. I'm,
Well,
it hurts.
she's got some that are 300 calories a day where they eat an egg and then an egg white, and then there's the next day is 500 calories a day.
No,
And then, I mean, seriously, Danielle, you know, it's interesting. Just recently, I had a very good friend of mine with a 12, 13-year-old daughter that is starting to obsess a bit about her weight and has began to over-exercise and under-eat. And when I was going through your history and what you're doing on the internet as a nutritional counselor, it just sent a shiver down my spine if this young girl were to happen onto you and find you counseling her. I just wondered what that would do to her life at 12 or 13 if you were giving her counsel and do it knowing where you are now.
I am ashamed. I am very ashamed. I was not in the right mind state.
Then why are you trying to justify it to me now instead of owning it? Because you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Because that's my MO, to be defensive at first.
Because Renee, I'll tell you, you know how I think Danielle has gotten where she is right now is because I think she's been dealing with people that don't ask the hard questions like I'm asking right now. She's been talking to people that take her first, second, or third answer, let her them, let her give them these manipulative denial answers and this syrupy sincerity, and they go, oh, well, okay, that's what I want to hear. She's been to treatment so many times, she could conduct it. You know what to tell them, how to tell them what they want to hear to get them off your back. And then you're able to do one thing, and it's the one thing you want to do more than anything, and that is tell people what they want to hear so you can go be alone with your disease.
Danielle avoids the hospital at all costs. Yes, Danielle, because of the binging and purging, her potassium levels drop, which are very dangerous for her heart. So her doctor monitors monthly, even weekly, for drops in potassium and will send her to the hospital. I will simply say, Danielle, let's go to the hospital today. It's such a battle. She will refuse. She will say, not now, I'm sleepy. Not now, I have to do this. She'll postpone it. And this will go on for endless days until I finally literally pull her out of the house and say, you're going to the hospital.
Danielle, things often start for one reason and continue for another. And you may have started this journey because somebody told you that you looked fat when you were in middle school or whatever, but you do it now because it's become your identity.
Yes.
You do this now because it's who you are. You have become an anorexic. That's who you are. That's your identity. That's what you do in the morning when you get up. It's who you are. So that's why you do it now. True?
True.
And you say that you were sexually abused at age 5 and numerous times since. You think this contributed to how this started?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt.
Then that tells me, if that's true, that you've never dealt with the underlying issue.
No.
That you've never really healed that. And I assume that you haven't healed that because it's scary for you, it's painful for you. And that what you're trying to do is have your body just shrink and disappear so you're in no way attractive to the opposite sex, so you in no way get any kind of male attention.
Yes.
You would rather have your organs shut down, have your liver shut down, your kidney shut down, have a seizure and a heart attack and die than face the issues of being a survivor of sexual molestation.
I haven't been given the opportunity to discuss these issues.
Every day through Danielle's battle with this eating disorder, I have wondered what I could have done differently. What I, as a parent, didn't do or should have done or should have known sooner. I blame myself. And this is what I live with.
What do you have to say to your daughter? What do you say to yourself at this point?
Dr. Phil, at this point, my daughter's gonna die. And I want Danielle to know that I don't know how I'd go on without her. She's my buddy. And I need her in my life. And I can't imagine going on without her. But Danielle, you're gonna die. And it could be before I even get home from doing this show with Dr. Phil. I can't lose her, Dr. Phil.
You know, there's something interesting about diseases. Let's take cancer as a comparison. You know, there are people that have cancer that's considered terminal, and they can change their behavior. They can make all kinds of behavioral changes. They can change their thinking. They can change their behaviors. They can change their lifestyle. They can change their priorities. And when they do all of that, they still have cancer. You, on the other hand, can do all of that, and you're cured. You can change your thinking. You can change your behavior. You can change your lifestyle. You can change your environment. You can change all of those things, and your disease is resolved. You have control. How many people do you think right now are sitting there right now watching with a cancer diagnosis that is inoperable, not responding to treatment, that would say, are you kidding me? If you gave me 5 things to change in my life, and this would be over and done, and I would be healthy and would move on? and I could have my children and my mother and my life and my future. And she does and won't do it? Wow. Wow. That's where you are. It could be a hell of a lot worse, Danielle. You could have a disease where there would be nothing you could do to change it, but you have a disease that you could change. You can change it starting today. So what do you say?
I'm ready to change.
Yes.
I've been suffering from an eating disorder for over 2 decades.
She weighs 68 pounds, and she says she counsels others on weight loss.
I'd make those meal plans.
You just told me that wasn't a pro-anorexia website, and that's a lie.
New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.